We also have Representatives Cunningham and Harris and Senator Waddell here, in addition to sponsors of the legislation who will speak in a minute, Representative Sain, Representative Hawkins, and Senator Lowe, who are here. We already know that North Carolina is the center of the college basketball universe. That is an unquestioned fact. But in the last few decades, our state has become a prime location for professional sports, particularly here in the Charlotte area. The Hornets, the Panthers, the Hurricanes, NASCAR, Charlotte FC, the Courage, professional golf, including the PGA, USGA, US Open, Wyndham, President's Cup, and professional minor league and farm teams, and a whole lot more. It is so exciting what's happened in North Carolina. This legislation will help these professional teams to grow even more and to thrive, and attracting more of them. We've still got some holes we need to fill in the professional sporting arena. It will also provide great paying jobs for our state. It will attract capital and help our economy grow. And it will benefit North Carolina taxpayers by giving them a portion of the earnings. Now let's face it, sports wagering is already happening in our state. Surrounding states here and across the country are already taking advantage. And in fact, today in Vermont, Governor Scott is signing similar legislation there. This legislation allows the state of North Carolina to regulate it and to put safeguards on it, as well as providing funding for helping people with problem gambling. There has been now and will continue to be a debate on how to invest the revenue that has been generated or that will be generated from this legislation. And there are some very good investments for this bill. But legislators, if you will allow my 30-second commercial. As we implement this legislation, I urge the legislature to focus more on investing funding in public education. Our teachers, our students, our public schools need us, not only with this revenue in this legislation, but across the funding stream of our state. Those investments need to be made now, because public education is our future workforce. So that's my commercial. This is a historic moment for the state of North Carolina, and this will benefit our economy for generations to come. Now I'm going to introduce to you legislators who had a major role in getting this legislation passed through the legislature, and I will first introduce Representative Jason Sain. Representative Sain.
So great to be here at this moment. This is truly a momentous occasion for our state, for our athletes, for our teams, for everybody in this state. You know, I'm a native North Carolinian. I grew up watching NASCAR. I grew up watching the Hornets. Love football, love our Panthers, have quickly become a soccer fan, though someone still has to explain the rules to me, and certainly love hockey. But we have so many opportunities to help this state with this bill. And it didn't come just because one legislator decided that they needed to run a bill. It was all about teamwork. We've got legislators in the audience who are a big part of that. There's a great picture of Carla Cunningham and us on the floor just discussing right before we went to the vote last week. Wesley, huge help, and the other caucus. It was a bipartisan effort. My co-sponsors, Zach Hawkins, Ashton Clemens, John Bell, we worked on this together, and the governor's office was tremendous. stayed in touch every day, making sure that we were listening to the concerns of our legislators, listening to the people of the state of North Carolina. So nothing happens without building a good team. And we had a great team. We got it done. You know, it was tough that first year where we had just one vote shy of getting this bill passed. But it gave us an opportunity to work harder. You know, you don't always win championships, but you're always working for the championship. And so to work harder, to do the hard work, to talk to all the legislators, to talk to people across this state and build support for it. And Governor, I thank you for your help on that. Thank you. Again, my co-sponsors worked hard. They talked to people in their caucus. We literally walked to their doors at their office and checked them off. Are you a yes? Are you a no? Are you a maybe? Or you could be there? What do we need to do to help you get there? I do want to thank my staff who's here. They're in the audience, Clark and Angela, who also worked the late hours working with all the legislators. They might have had to answer a few calls from lobbyists who were interested in sports betting as well. But we did. We got this over the hump, and we are so glad to do this. We're so glad for the investment that we're putting back into our small schools in this state. I think there's some athletes from UNC Pembroke that are here. They will benefit. Schools like UNC Charlotte, UNC Greensboro. It's a tremendous opportunity. And my co-sponsor, Zach Hawkins, saw the opportunity to get young people involved in sports and involved in the outdoors to work hard. And so there's provisions in the bill that do that. So it is a wonderful day. I thank you for being here to celebrate it. It's great to be in Charlotte. Here at the home of the Hornets, which my son, Governor, my son did want me to pass something along to you. Last night, coming down to Charlotte, he's at Coach Davis's basketball camp, and he hopes to one day be a Tar Heel. I'm an NC State guy, but he wanted me to pass that along to you, and he said, you know, maybe there's at least one saying the governor might cheer for one day. So in all seriousness, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Representative Sane. Really appreciate this opportunity. Welcome, everyone, to this historic occasion, and I can't underscore that enough. That first term when this bill failed by one vote, it was a challenge for us, and we needed to really think and assess how we were going to move something like this forward. This is not an easy lift for North Carolina, but the governor, I want to thank you for saying, if we got this to you, you'd sign it. And so you held to your word, and so thank you for signing HB 347. I'd like to congratulate and thank my fellow primary sponsors and bill supporters, those who took the hard vote to bring this long-awaited vote to a reality. And this was bipartisan the entire way. And so I see, of course, you heard from Representative Sane, who helped to lead our efforts with his caucus and across the board, Representative Clemens, Representative Bell, Senator Lowe, Senator Perry, who couldn't join us, Wesley Harris, Representative Cunningham, Senator Waddell. We really want to thank you. Everyone, and Jason was not joking. We had everybody on the list, and we were checking it twice, even until the last moment, because we just wanted to make sure that everyone felt heard. And that's one of the things that we learned from one term to the next, that everyone had to take this back to their district and to explain what the benefits were for North Carolina. And I think together we were able to do that. So many contributed to this. But for me, one of the things that is most important is that thousands of residents will be able to safely and securely and legally place bets. Securely and legally. We know that it's happening in the dark, and this opportunity allows us to bring it into the light. And of course, that comes with revenue. And so that revenue distribution excites me really the most because as he mentioned before, the ability to bring youth sports organizations into the revenue sharing is absolutely important with NC Amateur Sports and expanding participation and belonging for kids. Those grants will allow kids to be a part of things that they would not have been before, and I'm so glad to be a part of that effort. We also have budget relieving dollars for our public universities. Traveling across as our university conferences expand, takes a lot to put money into gas tanks, right? Into buses, into planes. And so we are having the opportunity to support them in that way. But then also the local grants to assist youth team travel and to track small events to small regions. We know that there's a big attraction fund that will help with large events from around the country, but every single county needs the opportunity to be able to attract something small, a regional tournament to their area to help with economic development. And so this bill absolutely covers it all, and it does help our sports teams and our large cities. And so we're so grateful for this opportunity. So thank you all for being here. Again, thank you, Governor, for signing this bill. Thank you, Jason and Ashton and others for helping us get us across the line. And I'm excited to be in Charlotte, too. This is a great day. It's a historic day for the great state of North Carolina. Thank you.
I must start by saying this is a fine bill. And those that know me from the legislature know how I feel about fine bills. We started working, me and Jim Perry actually began this discussion about 4 years ago in Charlotte at Ruth Chris. And we began discussing what we could do and what a bill like this would do for North Carolina. First and foremost, this bill would be a job creator, which is very, very important to this state, and let people know, not just in this country, but around the world, that North Carolina is open for business. We want to expand what we do, and we want to make it available and make ourselves available for the world, not just for the country, but for the world, because things like this will help our education system, it'll help roads, it'll help small business, large business. Entertainment is business. And it's a very important part. If we didn't find out anything else during COVID, we found out how important entertainment and entities like this are. So I'm so thankful to be a part. I hate that Senator Jim Perry wasn't able to be here, but all of those in the House and in the Senate, the governor's office, that helped us get this done. We are so thankful to you. I remember those days when I would walk over to the house, and the house folks would tease me because I would kind of walk up and down and talk to Carla about who I needed to get on a knee and talk to in the house. I had already done everything that I could do in the Senate, and we were able to get that done, and then we came up one short. But over the Christmas break, we kept making phone calls. We kept talking to folks, and we got it done. One of the things that I will say that I enjoy that happened that Jason Sain was responsible for, and that was making me a fan of NASCAR. Governor Jason did it all by himself. But these are the kinds of things we're excited about, and we are so happy. I thank, once again, all of you that helped in getting this done. I won't try to call names because I'll miss someone, but thank you, and may God bless you. Good to see you, Mayor.
I want Fred to know that I do have a pair of teal socks that I just simply could not find this morning, so I apologize for that. I also want to say that the North Carolina Lottery Commission is hard at work now, beginning the process of implementation of this legislation. It is a mammoth job, but they are working very hard, and look forward to additional help from everybody to make sure that this works. This is truly a bipartisan accomplishment, one of many over the last few years, and this certainly will help North Carolina compete, and that is critical. So now we'll move this apparatus and bring the table and get ready to sign this bill. We have a number of people representing our North Carolina sports teams. If you guys will come up along with our legislators and Mayor Lyles, and we'll sign this bill.